Myeloma is unfortunately, for the vast majority of patients, a continually relapsing disease. And while we do have many different classes of drugs, in particular proteasome inhibitors, IMiDs, and CD38 monoclonal antibodies, the so-called triple classes, when patients become refractory to these classes, the prognosis is poor. There's been a lot of excitement in myeloma with T-cell redirection therapy, particularly targeting BCMA. That's generated a lot of attention recently, but very little has been done with GPRC5D, and that's what this presentation is so unique. It's the first-in-class novel target, GPRC5D, and talquetamab is a bispecific antibody which traffics T cells to the myeloma. And in this study, which is the first time we're presenting the phase 2 data, we saw in a heavily treated population, including 60% of the patients had either high-risk cytogenetics, extramedullary disease, or ISS3 disease. In this patient population with a median of 5 lines of therapy, and a lot of patients were triple class refractory and almost all were refractory to the last line of therapy, we saw a response rate of 73 to 74%, including in triple class refractory and pentadrug refractory. So I think that's probably take-home point number one, and those responses were maintained in a lot of those high-risk subgroups. The second equally important part of this study is the safety profile of this agent. Most high-grade AEs were hematologic, and even those were below a third of patients and happened early. Infections are remarkably low in this agent compared to other BCMA-directed bispecifics in particular. Rates of grade 3 and 4 infections were approximately 11 to 15%. There were only 2 COVID-related deaths and no COVID-related deaths in the New England Journal of Medicine paper, which just came out, and that's the phase 1 portion of the study, meaning that even in the era prior to COVID vaccinations, we did not see COVID-related deaths. And finally, the rates of hypogammaglobulinemia requiring IVIG were only about, the rates of IVIG use was only about 10 to 12%. So I think what this tells us is it's a very safe drug. There are some unique AEs, including taste, nails, and skin changes, but the number of patients coming off for these AEs was less than 5% and typically manageable with either supportive care agents or dose modification. So in conclusion, I think talquetamab is an amazing first-in-class drug that is targeting patients with unmet need in myeloma with a new target, different from BCMA, and showing promising efficacy and safety results, and confirmatory phase 3 studies already ongoing.